Okay, and you had mentioned and touched on this a little earlier about bringing new revenue and business into 96. What is your idea, and how can you as mayor help bring commerce into 96 and help the town to prosper?
Well, the only thing that I think you can do there is the mayor, and here again by me being full-time and having the time to go to the various places. A good avenue would be, for instance, going to Uptown Greenwood and talking with those people, going to the county, being a member of and attending the meetings of the Greenwood Economic Alliance. That's where you know what's coming to town, industry for instance, stores or whatever. There's avenues such as those that you can use to go and search for other businesses. And then on a personal basis, you could, if you have an idea of something that you'd like to try to get into town, contact someone that's in that business and see if you can persuade them to come to town. We've got to get new businesses in town. And I say that to go back to the fact that the Star Fort here, the history we have, and our heritage, we don't want them to come to 96, go to Star Fort, leave 96. We want to stop in 96 and shop and have, for us to have something available for them. The Visitor Center is going to be excellent. I hope that we're going to have a lot of displays in there about our heritage and so forth that will attract people to stop. And once we can get them to stop, then we can talk with them about, hey, look, here's something else you need to see.
Okay. And the next question, what will you do in office to help give kids, specifically, children ages 8 to 15, their activities to do in the town?
Okay, we have a fantastic park which was donated to us by Ringwood Mills. We're grateful for that. We have done some improvements in the park area, but what we need is more structured activities for the kids of that age group. And by structured activities, I mean we need someone that can design and develop different types of programs for the kids. In my contact with the local people walking up and down the streets, one of the suggestions to me was where the old basketball court was, hey, let's make a skateboard park there for kids. But you would need to go and to talk with the county on the county level. If necessary, go to the state and try to get funds to if we could. It would be certainly nice to have even a part-time director for 96 parks and have a structured activity for those kids in that age range.
And since you brought up the little skateboard park, there's been a liability issue that may need to be addressed.
That's true, but if you just stop and think and just look around town, how many more liability areas did we have? For instance, and we're on the road to improvement on streets, but you've got streets, and my wife and I walk a lot on the streets, and you've got sidewalks that are off balance that you could trip on very easily. Hey, that's a liability. I know we can't fix them all at one time, but there are other areas in the town that there is a lot of area for injury and that are liabilities to the town of 96. We hope to goodness we don't have any, but liability is a concern, and of course naturally we have insurance for the protection of the town. But liability is a concern on not only the park area, but any other place. For instance, the new visitor center, somebody comes in and trips on the steps. What are you going to do? That's a liability. So there's just more issues on liability that you don't stop and think about.
Okay. What is your view of the recent controversy regarding the police department issuing traffic tickets? Would you handle this situation differently? And if so, please explain why or how.
Well, I would. I know there is a lot of controversy with the police department, and believe me, over the years that's been one of the areas that most controversy comes up about. As we talked about a minute ago, there are ordinances for the town of 96. There are state laws, and those ordinances should be enforced. Now, how they're enforced and the range of enforcement, I think we have a little control over. I know the issue with the speeding tickets with the police department has been the biggest issue, and you got to use common sense. I mean, if you're speeding, you're speeding, and as it's been indicated before, there is an absolute speed law in South Carolina. 1 mile an hour over the speed limit, and you're speeding. But use some common sense and PR. You know, naturally, if a guy comes through and he's doing 20, 25 miles over the speed limit, you got to do something. One of the things that I think they should do, rather than you know, sit around town and catch speeders, would be to go into those highly residential areas, the school zones. Those are the areas that need monitoring too. For instance, where I live on my street, Johnson Road, they could make a good income on that particular street if they sit on there all the time too.